What is going on, everybody? Grayson here from PokeProfit. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about the Sun and Moon era, but more importantly, we will be comparing this to the Scarlet and Violet era numbers from yesterday. And really, what we're going to do in this video is set up tomorrow's conversation as well, which is going to be the big one where we talk about the Sword and Shield era in comparison to both the Scarlet and Violet era and the Sun and Moon era data from today. So we'll be taking a look at top 1, 5, and 10 values. And I know there are some people who don't enjoy discussing the Sun and Moon era. Maybe it's just a little bit too old, but I think over the past couple months, we've started to see some plays open up that are at least interesting to me and that have caught my eye. And I was actually talking with someone today about Cosmic Eclipse, but there are also a couple more booster boxes in the era that I think could be potential plays for the short term and also long term. And we'll get into that in this video. The first thing, we're just going to do a brief overview of how all the boxes are doing over the past couple of weeks. So Sun Moon Base, I think, was down a little bit. Guardians Rising, in terms of average sale price, was up. Burning Shadows, I believe, was down. Crimson was up. So kind of, a little bit of a roller coaster here. A couple boxes up and down. Ultra Prism was down. Forbidden Light was down. But then basically everything onwards from Celestial Storm in terms of average sale price was up. I believe Celestial, we're back to like maybe 2.3K, 2.25. Lost Thunder, this was up a little bit as well. I believe we also saw a sealed case of Lost Thunder sell this week. It was either Lost Thunder or Forbidden Light. I did mark it down in the spreadsheet, but that was interesting to see because we normally don't experience sealed Sun and Moon cases hitting the market too often, actually selling for a decent case premium. Team Up, this is sitting around $8,600 now. In terms of average sale price, it's definitely pulled a little bit up off its bottom, which I think was around maybe $8,200. Unbroken Bonds was actually down slightly this week. It's sitting around $207, I believe. Something very, very low, slightly above 2K in terms of average sale price. And this is one of the boxes we will talk a little bit more about here in a minute. Unified Minds was up slightly, and then Cosmic Eclipse, I think average sale price were around 3.2, 3.3K still. So it's pulled back a little bit. And the volume of boxes moving for Cosmic is actually insanely high right now. We're averaging over one per day over the past couple weeks on eBay North America. That is auctions and buy it now. So around this 3K range, people are definitely seeing value in Cosmic Eclipse. But I don't think that that is the only box that people should be paying attention to. So we are going to scroll down a little bit, and I know that I don't have the titles up top, so it might be a little bit difficult to follow, but column F is basically going to be your booster box price, and I'm pulling these numbers from my average sale price in my spreadsheet, so if you guys want the exact numbers, there you go, $209 on Unbroken Bonds. And then Dragon Majesty, Shining Legends, same deal for the ETB. Hidden Fates was the only one I took from TCG Player. It sells a little bit more often. Also, I don't do the Hidden Fates update when I do the rest of Sun Moon era. The reason for that, when I started the spreadsheet, I just did it with the Sword and Shield and Esfera specialty sets, and I've just continued doing it that way. But for this video, we're going to look at every set from the Sun and Moon era. These numbers here, so column G, that's going to be your top hit. Column H is going to be top 5 value, and then column I, that's going to be your top 10. So really, we're looking at the top hit in column G, and then also top 10 value in column I think are the most important numbers here. And you can see early Sun and Moon really isn't that cool. I'd say Sun and Moon base, $800. I think it's averaging closer to like $650, $700 right now. When you come in here and look, Umbreon GX top hit, under $100. You have a Lily Full Art in there, a couple more evolutions, but really nothing too impressive. Guardians Rising, more of the same. If you come in here and look at the cards, a lot of rainbows, which have definitely fallen out of favor with most collectors over the past, I'd say, 2 to 3 years. Sylveon GX top hit around $121. Burning Shadows, sure, you have the Rainbow Zard up top around $540, massive hit. But then after that, the second most expensive card is a Fairy Energy Gold card around $83, $84. A Wiki, I don't even know how to pronounce her name, $53, $54. Darkness Energy, and then Acerola. That's your top 5. Really nothing of interest outside of that Rainbow Zard, which again, it's a cool card, but not too much going on in Burning Shadows outside of that. And then finally, Crimson Invasion, we have the Gyarados up top around $50. You have a Lusamine, another Gyarados. There really is nothing impressive in Crimson Invasion, and you can see that here with the top 10 values for those first 4 sets being sub $400 for base, sub $500 for Guardians Rising. Burning Shadows, you're getting fairly close to $1,000 top 10 value. More than half of that is the Zard top hit. And then Crimson Invasion, $208, $209. That's slightly higher than Obsidian Flames currently. So the first 4 sets in the Sun and Moon era, I definitely just don't even recommend touching. But after those, we do encounter Ultra Prism, and I think Ultra Prism is kind of interesting right now. I believe it's sitting around, what, $1,500 currently. You can find auctions ending for somewhere between like $1,200 and $1,300. That's still happening the odd time, and there's decent value in this set. If we come in here and look, sure, a lot of it is waifu focused. You have the Lily up top, $478, massive top hit. You have a Cynthia full art, $221, $222. The Lusamine as well, $167 approximately. But outside of that, you still have a couple decent Pokemon in here. You have a Leafeon GX, a Glaceon, a Solgaleo. You have the Lunala and Palkia GXs as well. Alana, I mean, she's fairly popular in the Sun and Moon era, so it's not a terrible set by any means. And the interesting thing about Ultra Prism that everyone talks about is this was a set that was quote unquote short printed, right? So there's less boxes of Ultra Prism out there in theory compared to some of these other Sun and Moon era sets. We don't know exactly how many boxes are left, but I think it's safe to assume that these are probably a little bit more difficult to find than maybe some of the Sword and Shield era sets, or obviously some of the Scarlet and Violet era sets. So when it comes to investing in this, I mean, it's definitely not going to be for everyone if you're building small positions. Probably not worth it at this point. It's a fairly old set. It has appreciated a lot. So annualized ROI might not end up being the highest, but if you can find this box around $1,000, $1,200, it might not be a terrible buy right now, especially considering the value that you can get out of it, around $1,300 in terms of top 10 value. And again, on Thursday, we're going to be looking at the pop reports for a lot of the top cards in these sets, especially the ones that have the higher top 10 value, because it is important to look at those gem rates, look at how much those cards are actually going for, because that does play a role as well in the booster box price, especially for some of these older sets. But keep an eye on Ultra Prism. That's really the first thing I did want to touch on. Forbidden Light, not really too much to say here. Not a fan of that set. If we come in here and look, we're talking about a top 10 value of $613. Not that great, to be honest. Celestial Storm, same sort of deal. I mean, some people say there's less of this out there than maybe some other Sun and Moon era sets. You have a couple decent cards in here. The Alicia up top around $250. You have a Rayquaza GX, $220. The full art Rayquaza around $80. But realistically, it's not something I would be buying either. Top 10 value, $903, and the top hit isn't that great. And Lost Slender, I mean, I did highlight this one because it is over $1,000 in terms of top 10 value, but this would probably be a booster box I avoid. If we come in here and look, top hit Lugia, $208, it's a rainbow. You have a Mimikyu around $165. Sure, Mimikyu's cool. I like Mimikyu, but it's really not one of those sets I want to dump money into, especially compared to some of these tag team sets that we're going to look at here in a second. So the first one, Team Up. I don't really want to touch on this too much. I think Team Up's at the point sitting around $8,500, $8,600. It's not going to be for most people. If you're building a massive position in Pokemon and One Piece, it might be worth picking up a box just to have a little bit of exposure long term, like 10, 15 years down the road. What is going to happen to this set? Who knows? So having some level of schmuck insurance might be worth it, but for most people, I think the annualized ROI is going to be lower than what you can find in other products, and also it's just so much money to put in just to one set. So if you aren't building a $100,000 million position, probably not even worth considering, but still, you have great value in the top 10 cards. I mean, that is undeniable. Latias Latios, the Gengar Mimikyu, the Magikarp Whale Lord cards as well, and then even some of these other full art GXs and Rainbows. It is an interesting set, but again, probably not worth going into. The last 3 alt art sets, though, the tag team sets, I guess, technically, Unbroken Bonds, Unified Minds, and Cosmic. Cosmic was the one that I was really paying attention to because it's sitting around $3,000. I think I've seen a few auctions ending around like 26, 2,700, which seems like really good value. I was kind of surprised at the value in Unbroken Bonds and Unified Minds currently. These are both fairly close in terms of price. 2K on Unbroken Bonds, definitely see sales sub 2K on eBay, and then Unified Minds $2,200. I think lowest listed currently is about 2,200 bucks. But again, auctions do end lower. I'm sure you can find deals on Facebook or maybe some other avenues, Instagram, who knows. When we come in here and look, this is Unified Minds. The top hit is the Mewtwo Mew GX, it's around $330. You have the Mega Sableye Tyranitar. This one actually got jumped, I guess, because I'm pretty sure that this was always the most expensive card, or at least previously was the most expensive card. I think at one point the Misty was above both of those. The Misty, of course, sitting around $315. Raichu, Alolan Raichu, Slowpoke, and Psyduck. Like, there are some great tag team cards in this set, so I understand why there is value there. When you look at Unbroken Bonds, same sort of deal. Gardevoir Sylveon GX up top. I think that this is probably a better top hit than anything you see in Unified Minds. This is just my opinion, but although I'd rather have Mewtwo and Mew as the Pokemon in the card, I think rainbows have just fallen so far out of favor with people that I'd rather go with the artwork of the Gardevoir and Sylveon. And Gardevoir and Sylveon, by the way, are still very popular Pokemon. Any evolution in general is going to be crushing it. Greninja Zoroark, again, fairly decent card there. Popular species. Marshadow and Machamp, not the most popular Pokemon, but still a fairly expensive card. Couple rainbows in here. Another Gardevoir and Sylveon, and a Reshiram Charizard. I was going to say Reshiram Zekrom just because there's so many of those in the Sun and Moon era, but Reshiram and Charizard. Green's Exploration. We have Red's Challenge in there as well, so some decently priced trainer cards. And when we add all those up and look at the values, we're talking about $1,900 in top 10 value for Unbroken Bonds and over $2,200 in top 10 value for Unified Minds. And although Cosmic is higher, sitting around $2,800 currently, it definitely has the better cards, but these are still fairly close. I mean, there isn't a huge difference in terms of top 10 value between that, Unified Minds, and Unbroken Bonds. So if you're paying 50% more for a Cosmic box, it might not be worth it in the long run. Again, like, I think it is fairly close between these three sets right now, and it really would depend on what you can get in terms of deals available to you. But I do just want to go through some of these Cosmic cards quickly in case you guys don't know what's inside of here. We have the Arceus Dialga Palkia up top. This is around $450. The Reshiram Zekrom, this was the most expensive card earlier in the year, sitting around $420. Solgaleo and Lunala GX, that's around $360. Blastoise Piplup, Rosa Full Art, this is around $208. This was actually the most expensive card, I believe, last year in the set, so things have definitely changed with the rise of the tag team cards. Mega Lopunny and Jigglypuff GX. And then we have Cynthia and Caitlyn, another Reshiram Zekrom, Lily's Full Force, Red and Blue. And then outside the top 10, but I did just want to acknowledge this Pikachu Secret. I love this card, by the way. This is probably one of my favorite cards Pokemon has ever released. I actually bought this in a PSA 10 a couple years ago, and I believe it was like $230 Canadian is what I paid off of eBay. So definitely regret not holding on to that one, since I think at the time it was around $35, $40 raw, now sitting around $125. But hey, you win some, you lose some. Now we should touch on the specialty sets a little bit as well, because we'll probably compare a couple of these to the Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet era. Hidden Fates, you guys know I'm a huge fan of Hidden Fates. These ETBs are coming back down in price a little bit. Charizard GX up top, over $500. The Umbreon, $225. Sylveon is up there as well. Cynthia, Espeon, Mewtwo. You have very popular Pokemon in this set, even though, in my opinion, I'm not a huge fan of these artworks. They will be valuable cards, and if you look in here, $1,500 top 10 value, that's pretty good. I mean, that's only behind Unified Minds, Cosmic, Team Up, and Unbroken Bonds. So it has very good company in that regard. Shining Legends, you can see here, top 10 value, $906. That Mewtwo top card is around $526. It's a great artwork. Everyone loves this Mewtwo GX, but I really dislike the fact that outside of that card, we're talking about Shining Mew and Shining Rayquaza half arts as the second and third most expensive cards, and then also rainbows. I mean, I get they're popular Pokemon, Rayquaza, Mew, a Mewtwo, an Entei, and a Raichu. Like, that's great in theory, but just because they are rainbows and half arts, probably not the most exciting investment, in my opinion. And also, the ETBs are getting up there in price. We're talking about a $650, $660 average nowadays. And then the final set to discuss is, of course, Dragon Majesty. You guys know this set is pretty trash. There really isn't anything great in here. You have that gold Ultra Necrozma up top, the GX card, a Reshiram GX, Zinnia, a white Kyurem. So not the most unpopular Pokemon, I'd say, but nothing really of value. The one interesting thing that I will say about Dragon Majesty is that these ETBs are fairly scarce and they've held up incredibly well. As a lot of these top booster boxes like team up at a time, this was over $10,000 average sale price. Unbroken Bonds is getting close to 3K. Same thing with Unified Minds. I think Cosmic, we're seeing sales close to like 5K at one point. And when all of that was going on, Dragon Majesty was sitting around $750 in terms of average sale price, and it's currently sitting around $775, $780. It really hasn't fallen off that much. Sure, we don't see a ton of these moving, maybe like one per week, two per week on eBay North America, but still, it's held up incredibly well compared to basically anything else in the Sun and Moon era. And even though it's not that great of a set objectively, that is something we should recognize. So that's really all I want to get to in this video. Tomorrow we will be discussing the Sword and Shield era, and that's really where I think things get exciting. If you guys made it this far in the video, I'd really appreciate if you leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below for the algorithm. It actually helps out a ton getting these videos pushed out to more people. And then also no channel sponsors, so I will shill my own stuff. I have links to my market spreadsheet at the top of the description as always, and links to my consultation calls if you're really looking to take TCG investing more seriously and you want to win in this niche. So with all of that said, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Stay safe wherever you are in the world. I'll catch you back here tomorrow when we look at the Sword and Shield era.